Hey y'all, it's Andy here, and I have decided to make the spring zodiac shift readings entirely free this season. I don't want there to be any paywall between us when the astrology is so wild this spring. So the shift readings for all zodiac signs for the spring season will be posted in their entirety here on YouTube and on my website, unseenhintstarot.com. You can access them either place. Now, these readings are meant to carry you through the entire spring season. So it's one reading for the whole spring. It drops at the spring equinox. I recommend watching it at the beginning of the season so you can kind of get an idea of the themes that might be showing up for your sun, moon, rising, perfection sign, Venus, maybe, since Venus is going retrograde, whatever you're tracking in your own astrology chart this season. Find the corresponding reading, watch it at the beginning of the season to get a little preview as to what your spring shift might be. And then midway through the season, maybe around April, check back in with the reading, re-watch it, because you'll be able to bring your lived experience of the actual spring, however it's playing out in your life, to that reading, and I guarantee it's going to hit different. And then at the end of the season, you'll look back and watch the readings one more time to connect the dots as to how you have actually shifted throughout the season and get that beautiful hindsight magic. It really is the best part. Okay. So happy spring. It is my gift to you, and enjoy the shifts. Gemini, hello, it's Andy here, and this is your spring 2025 shape shift reading, where we look at the shape you're shifting out of, the shape you're shifting into, and what that shape shift looks and feels like for the spring season. This reading is meant to carry you all the way through the spring, so I encourage you to rewatch it halfway through to see how it's resonating with your actual experience, and then watch it again at the end of the season for that hindsight magic. Okay, I'm joined today by the Queer Tarot, the classic rarity, the slow Holler Tarot, and the Poesis Oracle. Let's dig in. Okay, Gemini, what is the shape you are shifting out of this spring? Shifting out of the Magician. Interesting. The Magician is the creator. You can see they've got all the tools of the tarot, the wand, the pentacle, the cup, the sword at their disposal, a ton of resources, and they're ready to go. They're ready to create. They're ready to make it happen. Okay, interesting. Shifting out of that. Shifting, the shape you're shifting into this season. These cards are slippy. Oh. Shifting into the Star. Okay, interesting. Okay, already, and we'll pull more cards, obviously, but this is looking like shifting out of you in like creator-doer mode and shifting into a more like healing, cooling, reflection vibe. The Star sort of reconnects us with a sense of faith, a sense of hope, a sense of like higher purpose. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to be like creating and working and actively like achieving towards that higher purpose, but maybe just like the shift in focus is away from all of the creation, the acts of creation, and more towards reconnecting with why you do what you do. You know, like every so often in your process, you have to like take a break from actually doing it to be like, wait, why am I even doing what I'm doing? So I wonder if there's something there. That like higher perspective that you need to kind of renew your faith in what you're doing, or like renew your conviction in that sense of purpose. And it might require like a little bit of an emptying out moment. This is also reminding me that Jupiter's leaving your sign. It's been in Gemini for a while and it's going to go into Cancer this season in June. And to me, Jupiter in Gemini has felt just like me doing 1,000 things and feeling really strung out by all of the excess and being just like pulled in so many different directions, because, you know, Gemini does a lot, thinks a lot of things, and like that like ping-ponging focus. So maybe when Jupiter moves into Cancer, you'll get a little bit of a break to kind of reconnect with that higher direction. Which is actually like where the Magician is creating from. Notice that they're raising their wand to the sky, to the stars and the sun and like the celestial heavens, like the things that are higher and beyond them, that they connect to and draw from in order to create in their lived experience on the earth. And so there is a need to sort of reach for that again, maybe. Okay, what does this shapeshift look and feel like for Gemini this spring? Wow, beautiful. The Empress. Are you kidding? I mean, these are just really beautiful cards. Shit. Take a look. The Magician, the Empress, the Star. It doesn't get much better than that, Gemini. So if you're at all worried, I wouldn't, because you have this sense of connection to something celestial with the Star, something larger than you, a higher sense of faith, hope, purpose, the thing that guides you, that is like your guiding light, that gives you that like sense of direction, that reminds you, you know how to do this, Gemini. You know how to navigate. And it seems to me like you're already in like you've been in magician mode where you're like, okay, time to create, time to do the thing, time to use my resources and make it happen. And the Empress is Venus coming in and kind of reminding you like, hey, that's true. And obviously she's still holding that wand, but her wand is a moon. It's an orb. It sort of softens the edges of the Magician a little bit and reminds you to take some time for yourself too, to take time to kind of like relax back on a couple cushions in a beautiful garden. It actually looks like the Empress and the Star are in a similar place. They've both got this like river flowing. They've got the greenery around them. Whereas the Magician, while there are plants and flowers, they're in a more kind of like abstract space. The Empress and the Star are actually very much on the earth plane, like located in a very relaxing nature type environment. So this reading could just be showing a shift into a more grounded place, into being able to relax into where you are a little bit more, so that you don't feel like you're constantly having to make things happen and hustle and do. You can actually just be. Okay, that's kind of cool. You don't have to always be doing your purpose. Sometimes you can just be your purpose. So this could be a shift from like an external focus all the time to a more just like letting it settle into your being with the Empress. And like, wait, I can just embody this. I can embody my higher ideals, rather than like the Magician might have more of an impulse to like make something that helps other people do it, or make something that like or be a teacher, or perform some sort of act for the world. And the Empress is just over here vibing, you know, like the Empress is just being. She's just like, what do you mean? I'm sipping tea, I'm doing this, I'm enjoying this beautiful space, and I'm still in my purpose just as much as when I'm out there like hustling and doing and organizing and making stuff happen. Maybe that's all this shapeshift is showing you, is that like you are still connecting and enacting your purpose when you let yourself off the hook from being the constant creator. You are still living your purpose when you let yourself just be. And maybe it's deepening your connection with your purpose even more when you let it kind of sink into your body, into your flesh, into like your sensual human experience a little bit more. Rather than like the heady space of the magician, the theoretical space. The Empress is doing it in the kitchen with how she feeds herself and her loved ones. The Empress is doing it like in the home space, creating a beautiful space to live in and exist in so that you can feel your purpose and connect to your higher self and calling every day, everywhere you look. You know, like in your damn bathroom, it can be that beautiful. You know, like that's the feeling here. That's cool. And then like also in your body, like in the clothes you wear, in the workouts that you do, in like the luxurious like stretch sessions and body work that you seek out so that you can like reconnect with your body more and like be embodied, feel your own, listen to yourself and feel your own impulses again, which will again all connect you back to the star, to your higher purpose, to your guiding light. But there is this sense that you need to get back into your body this season with the Empress. Okay, we got to keep pulling. This is exciting. Okay. The Slow Holler Tarot. Let's get some clarity. So if you're shifting out of the doing and the thinking and the creator mode of the Magician, and you're shifting more into the Empress where you just get to like be the creation, you know, it's very Sister Karita Kent, if you're familiar. If you're not, get into it. It's very like the highest form of art is living an artful life idea, rather than like making the specific thing. It's not about the painting. It's not about the curriculum. It's not about the whatever that you're, the thing that you're making. It's about the life that you're creating. And that's where the Empress goes very, very deep. And that's where you need to live it in every fabric of your life, every facet of your life. From the blankets on your bed, to the clothes on your body, to the food that you eat, and the care that you give yourself and others. Yes, and by extension, the things that you make and create in the world. Okay, I'm digressing massively. Let's get some clarity. Okay, and the Magician. Why is Gemini shifting out of the Magician this spring? Interesting. Visionary of Branches is very Magician. She's also holding a wand, but we're getting more of a, this is the Queen of Wands, Queen of Fire. Visionary of Branches. Maybe there's a need to sort of, oh, interesting. Okay. So the star is up here, and the Visionary of Branches, like this is how I'm seeing it on the table. She's down here under the Magician, and she's kind of looking down. Notice that. She's like facing away from the guiding light of the star, kind of facing away from the purpose. It could be very easy with Magician energy to get so caught up in making things happen. You like, again, you lose connection with why you're doing it, with like the impulse behind the vision. I love the Queen of Wands coming out under the Magician because she's a witch. She is also full of magic and has so much power within. So maybe there's this thing where you're just like needing to reconnect with the vision. And it's like, wait, what am I even creating when I don't even remember the vision? Okay, Seven of Wands just kind of like got stuck. And to me, the Seven of Wands is actually this posture, except there's a bunch of wands like trying to fight. And you're here with your wand, like trying to fight. I just like heard the phrase trying to stay in the game. Like, I gotta stay in the game. I gotta like be out here with these guys. These guys. Be out here doing this stuff with to like stay relevant or something. But really it's just like maybe this of we're seeing teeth, we're seeing a stump, we're seeing like wood, we're seeing things that are very rigid in the Seven of Branches. Maybe the doing has kind of got you a little stiff. It just feels stiff and it feels like, whoa. And actually, interestingly, the Visionary of Branches looks like the same person as the Empress. Like they both look very, they're contemplative, they're holding their power, they are soft in this way that I think is just really an important, yeah, it's like, it's a softening that needs to happen. But here you are, yeah, actually the Visionary Branches should go under the Empress because they're the kind of the same person. Maybe there's something in you that's been calling for that softness, but you feel this like obligation to like stay hard. Maybe there's some like stories in your head that are like, no, you got to keep going. You got to keep making stuff or you're going to lose relevance or people are going to stop caring about what you're doing if you're not constantly creating and constantly outputting, you know. It's like that content creation problem that so many people are having on social media, which is just like you get burnt out. This like feeling like you have to be constantly creating content. It's like, what? I do these readings seasonally so that I can like put my all into them and they're meant to sustain over a long time. I'm not out. I don't have the capacity for this like daily churning out stuff. Like I have a job, I have like other things that I'm doing and that's part of why, but I'm just feeling that here where it's like, you don't always have to be doing to live your purpose. And that's just a word in this reading that is on repeat. Okay, whoa. Student of Vessels. And I just keep seeing put the heart back in it. This is Page of Cups. Put the heart back in it. Gemini, where's the heart in what you do? This heart has been like beamed out of the chest and is like, they're like holding it. Interesting that we've got this sort of rigidity of the Seven of Branches up here with the Magician. Like, well, I have to keep going and I have to keep doing it and I have to keep making more and more and more. Seven of Wands, like fight constantly, sort of stay confident, stay fighting, stay out there. But there's this other thing going on down below that is very different. It's emotional, it's softer, it's deeply internal, it's more contemplative. And it comes from the heart. And that is different. That's like a space maybe that's calling you away from the magician creation act for a time so that you can reconnect with your own insights. Okay, then let's look at the Empress so that we can understand how we get to the Star. Come on, come on. 2 cards just fell out. The Visionary of Stones and the 10 of Cups. That's the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, I mean, it's like if we were to zoom in on the Empress's feet in her cute little slides, like that's what we would see, is this actually, like, each of her feet are in their own houses. They're in their own stone house. Stone houses will stand the test of time. So there's this sense of like deep grounding and rooted in your own like beautiful garden space. There is a need to kind of root back down into the why, into the lived experience of like daily joy. That's 10 of Pentacles for me, is like remembering to take time to play in the mud puddle and like gather with your friends and everybody brings a dish and we all play together, you know, like jam sessions, the things that reconnect us with why we love to do what we love to do. And getting rooted, getting your feet planted back in these like playful mud puddles of joyful. I mean, the 10 of Cups. Cups is emotional experience. The 10 is the peak of it. It is like, yes, bliss moments, times that we look back on at the end of our life and go, that was awesome. Wow. You know, like I lived such an artful life. And I think maybe you're over here in the Magician right now, just a little on autopilot. And there's something really, really deeper in you going, dude, slow down. Like, wait. Why do you have to go so hard? Why are you going so hard? And like the emphasis on is why, you know, like you can go hard, but reconnect with why. What's the vision? What is the higher goal here? What is the like heart beat? And then like the Empress asks, like, are your feet on the ground here? Do you feel roots coming out of the soles of your feet? And are you having any fun? Are you having any fun? Are you getting any loving? Who cares for what you've got if you're not having any fun? Okay. Interesting. I intended to pull for the star, the shape you're shifting into, which is a reconnection with your purpose. And we got Architect of Branches and Strength. 2 bonfires, okay? Architect of Branches is the King of Wands. Wow, okay, so you got the Queen of Wands and now the King. And Strength is here, you know, okay, fine, I'll go down into my own depths. That's the cave space here. I'll go in there and I will make a bonfire and I will sit in front of it and I will stare into it until I feel its warmth, until I feel my own like inner fire again. And there's something, because there's something about the star is pouring something out, pouring the water out of these vessels. And then we've got these 2 bonfires where it's like putting these wands on the fire and just like letting them burn. There is like a shedding moment. There's a shedding, like, okay, I'm going to release this. I'm going to pour it out. I'm going to let it go for a while because I need to sit. I need to get right with myself. Like I need to sit with myself and remind myself again about like what I'm building and why and how. The Empress says, and how. Because it's not just what you're doing and why you're doing it, but it's how you're doing it. Are you living artfully? Are you letting it? Are you having fun? Are you building something that you can stand on? Are you feeling good as you're doing it? Because if you're not, then it's not worth your time. It won't be worth it in the end if you burn out, you know? Okay, what else about the star? Yeah, cool. Ace of Stones. I mean, there's that river. There's that beautiful river coming in and softening the stone over time. And to me, it's like the Ace of Stones is a very like real, tangible potential. But it's sort of like clay. It's like you have to add water for it to become pliable again, for you to come back to this medium that you've been working with, your life, your home space, your, I don't know, your work maybe, to come back to it and to actually be able to work with it in a new way that maybe is a little more flexible, that is maybe a little more like allowable for pleasure, for you to experience a softer life, a more pleasurable time, for you to take breaks, have days off. I mean, listen, like I know I'm speaking really sort of glibly, like this is all so obvious, and I know that in this moment of life that we are living through, where capitalism is just like going so wild and eating us all alive, that not all of us can take off a day of work. Like I get that it's not that easy. We don't all have that kind of capability and privilege. But there's something super useful in this for even just a reframe of why you do what you do and how. That warrants a moment of internal pause. Just stop doing what you're doing for a second so you can reconnect with how you could do it in a way that would feel better for you. That would give you a more embodied and connected lived experience of your life as you do this work. Okay, Poesis Oracle. Let's get some final advice for Gemini, and then don't worry, we'll look at the whole thing because the cards are so beautiful. Okay. Come on, this is gorgeous. Sovereignty and joy. Okay. Expand. So let's look at it together. So you have this kind of higher purpose, which is to expand your reach. All of the arms on the expand card, reaching out to all these nodes, all these points of connection, forming networks and larger networks, and this whole sort of like larger plan looks very much like the same shape in the star. It's cool. So you have this higher vision that is expansive, that has a large reach, maybe. And in your magician sovereignty of like, I'm going to do it and I'm going to create it and I'm going to make this happen and I'm going to do it all by myself. You may, and in like your ability to be independent and self-starting, you may have kind of like gotten a little rigid, a little stiff, and away from the softer, heartfelt impulse that actually started this quest or this work or this creation to begin with. And so this reading is encouraging you, is sort of like coaxing you almost back into your heart, back into your joy, back into like why you do what you do, to kind of come back to like practicing what you preach and actually living it in every fiber of your life, every facet of your life, every I mean, the Visionary of Stones, Queen of Pentacles is the Empress, literally like walking the talk in the world. To get rooted back in your life and in your lived experience, to let yourself experience joy and play and fun and like sensual experiences again. And I think that returning to a more joyful experience of being human will reconnect you to your purpose in a way that you might end up realizing, okay, I don't need to be doing all of the things that I'm doing. And you might kind of put some of those on the bonfire and just like sit with yourself for a minute to reconnect with, all right, how can I come back to my purpose? So you might come back to your purpose, Ace of Stones, in a way that's like, all right, I want to work with this differently. I'm going to let the waters wash over it. I'm gonna soften this. How can I soften the experience of working towards this higher, expansive purpose so that I can sustain it long term, so that I can also just enjoy it along the way. So I don't look back at it and go, yeah, that's cool, I made all this, but I'm tired as hell and I don't feel good. And it wasn't fun for me. How can you start having some fun again? Just, you should go listen to that song. Who did it? Is it from a musical? Are you having any fun? What are you getting out of living? Who cares for what you've got if you're not having any fun? You know? Okay. Wise words. I hope it's helpful, dear Gemini. Great. Thanks for being here on this process. I hope you watch and rewatch this reading over the course of the season as you feel the impulse. And if you need extra help navigating eclipse season and all of the wild astrology of the spring, our community is open. You can find some connection there, or you can get at me for a personal reading. Okay, all the links are in the description below. All right, take care.